Let's go over this first one. We're going to identify the wiring on the diagram and on the physical component itself. So I do want to point this out that behind my terminal blocks, the positive side, I have these jumpers installed in between them so that they have the same potential, same as for the negative side. That way when I clip the negative lead to the jumpers, this whole block right here now is the same. So we have 24 volts DC coming into the top side of our fuse. Let's identify that wire. Here's our fuse, and here's the top side. And as you can see, it is connected to the red lead coming from our power supply. That's going to bring in the 24 volts directly to our fuse. And then coming out from our fuse is another wire that we are going to run into the positive terminal block. And remember, it has jumpers. See the jumper there? So once the 24 volts goes in here, the rest of these terminal blocks have the same potential. They all are carrying now the 24 volts DC. So now let's identify wire number 1 going to our stop button. This wire right here. So now we can come pick any spot on the terminal block. Again, it has the same potential, the 24 volt DC. Let's pick this wire. Let's run it around. And we are going to terminate this to the stop button. So here's our stop button, and this is the wire that we have in our hand right now, and we're going to terminate it into the stop button. And then coming out from the stop button is wire number 2 going to the start push button. So this is a 2-in-1. So our wire number 2 is internal. You can see here, 2, it is internal. But if I would have 2 separate buttons, you would physically see a wire running from the stop to the start, and that would be wire number 2. So our internal wire number 2 is in here, so we can't see it. And then we have another wire that parallels out to terminal number 9 on our control relay. And this is that wire that's paralleling out from wire number 2 to our control relay. This is the wire, and it terminates to terminal number 9. You can see right there, 9. And then coming out from the other side of this normally open contact is terminal number 5, and that is wire number 3. You can see that wire number 3 is shared between the wire that comes out from terminal 5 and the wire that comes out from the start button, and they both terminate to the A1 side of the control relay. So let's first identify this wire, the wire that comes out from the start button directly to the relay coil. Right here is the wire that comes out from the start button. Let's chase it down, and as you can see, it goes directly to A1. Now let's look at this wire, the same wire as this one, wire number 3 that comes out from terminal 5. As you can see here, terminal 5 is right here, and the wire is coming out from it, terminating back to A1. So there's 2 wires at A1. And the 2 wires at A1 is this wire and this wire right here. Now this jumper here, I could have ran to the start button, or I could have ran it directly to A1, which is what I did. I ran it directly to A1. So the wire that comes out from terminal number 5, I ran it directly to A1. I could have ran it all the way over back to the start button, and it would have been the same, because I can either bring it around to the start, or I can just bring it directly over to A1. It's the same. We are paralleling around that start button over to the A1 side of the relay coil. And then we just have our wire number 0 terminating back to the negative side or the comm side of our power supply. So here's A2. This is the wire coming out from A2, and this is terminating back to our power supply. This white wire right here. Here it is, and you can see it terminates back to the negative block of our power supply. Again, there's jumpers, so all of these terminals right here are all the same. And none of my wirings have labeled numbers on them, but remember to label them accordingly to the wire on the diagram. This is just demonstration, so I don't have anything labeled. So there it is. We have just identified all the wiring on this first run. Until next time, deuces.